So today I'm going to be organizing my giant glove collection by thickness, and then after the thickness I am going to sort them by color coding them, okay? So I hope that you guys can see everything. I don't think you can right now, so I'm going to pull you a bit closer. So it's gonna be from thinnest to thickest. So and I'm gonna try each of them on before I put them on the floor, so it gives you the full experience. So the thinnest ones by far are the, let's see here, the Biogel scents are out because I want them to be fresh new pair for this. So here we go. I guess until I show you putting the gloves down, I can show my face. Okay. So here's the first one. Now these are the most fragile of the gloves by far. They're the most prone to ripping. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's put this hand in. All right, there we go. And you really have to be gentle with the cuff. Part. So yeah, this is the Biogel sensor, and I would rate this as probably the most thin one in the collection because again, it is like a second skin. It's meant to be like a second skin. Okay, let's take her off. So she goes down as the first glove in the pile, or the stash. Okay, I'm gonna lay her out here, and along with the other one. So there we go. And this are going to be, actually these are the nitro ones. Where's the latex? The next thinnest is gonna be the Black Dragon latex extra small. I'd say these are the next thinnest. Now these are not fragile at all. Like I've put these over thick leather gloves before. I mean, these are really durable, but they are very flexible and thin, and I love the material. So I would say these are probably the next thinnest, because I'm not rating them on fragility, but thinness of the material. So I would say these would probably be one of the next thinnest one. They're not real thick, which I prefer. Get one, it would be the Biogel Surgeon's gloves in the 5.5. So these are a bit thicker than the sensor ones. Actually, they're a lot thicker. So these may not actually even be the next thinnest. Go ahead and see. Here's the mint ones. These ones are not that thick either. These ones are pretty thin, actually. But again, they're very durable, but they're thin, light material. So I'm gonna put these next as the thinnest. Even though they're technically nitrile, they're a really nice material. And then after that, I know the white McKesson ones are super easy to put on. Let's see which one this is. No, I don't think this is McKesson. Hold on. It's kind of difficult because, oh, these ones are either the Adina or the JMU because they're a lot thicker. let's see where the other McKesson one is. Let's see. Oh yeah, super simple to put on. These are definitely the McKessons. And I would say these are probably the next, well, maybe not. I would say these are one of the next thinnest ones, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them down. Was this the other McKesson? Yes, okay. I'll put her down. And then these ones that I just got, the Diner X gloves. Its material, it's not real thick, but it's not real thin either. So I'm gonna try these Color Track ones. Yeah, I think these Color Track ones are probably the next thinnest. So I'm gonna put them next after the white McKesson. So I wish you guys could see what I'm doing here. Let me put you down a little bit further. So here's the Color Track, and then of course the I have a purple. Oh, I didn't even show you guys this big tote of gloves over here. Here. Okay, so I'm not sure where the purple ones are. Oh, they're still in their box. Okay. So then again, these ones are the same exact thing as the gold ones. So we'll put them down. And then the next thinnest would be, let's see here. It's either gonna be these ones. I think it's gonna be these ones. The Biogel Surgeon's gloves are probably the next thinnest material. Very nice material though. And then, oh, what? And then for the, let's see, I would say probably these green Diner X ones would probably be the next thinnest. There's the other one. Pull one out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these above here. Because these, yeah, I would say these are definitely the next thinnest material. Definitely thicker than a lot of the other ones, but these are technically latex and they are pretty thin, so I'll put these up here. And then let's see from this pile, let's try these gray ones. Let's see, how thin are these? Ugh. These are thicker material. Let's see. Now these diamond grip ones are very nice, very easy to slip on. I would honestly say that these ones I don't know which one's thicker. I honestly feel like these ones are more thin and flexible than the Biogel Surgeon. So I'm gonna put the diamond grip gloves before those. And then we're gonna move these over here and put these as the next thinnest. And then after that, get all my other gloves. Let's see. Let's see, let's try these purple Fifth Pulse ones. Now I know the Fifth Pulse, or they're Swift Grip. A lot of these are the same brand. I I know the pink ones are also Swift Grip. Okay, that material's not overly thick. So let's see here. Let's try some of the white ones again. I know this one's, I believe this one's like the J&U one, and these are pretty thick. Yeah, see, the material's pretty thick. And then we have also have, I'm not sure what this one is. Is that the same thing as this? No, because they're different colors. This one is actually pretty thin too. It might, actually this one might be the JMU. So I would actually put these right after the Biogel. Is this the same thing? No. Let me see, because this one has a bigger cuff. I believe these ones are the Adina and these ones are very thick. So let's try to find another JMU one. Yeah, this one's definitely the McKesson, because it was super easy to put on. Let's see. I don't know what this one is. Yeah, this one's the JMU. So I'm gonna put this one up here. All right, and then I'm gonna put probably these purple ones next up here. And then the pink ones are the exact same brand. That's a purple, but for some reason they're a lot more thick, more difficult to put on. I don't know why. Let's see. Let's try on one of these blue ones. I know one is Fifth Pulse and one is Splash. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's see, I've got yet another glove stash over here. Let's try the green ones. The green ones are pretty thin too. I'll put these beside the purple ones up here. I'll put, let's see here. I'll put the gray ones next there. And then I want to make another pile on top. So let's see. Let's try these blue ones. Obviously the Fifth Pulse ones are very thick, but let's see which ones these are. Yeah, I believe these are the Fifth Pulse, and they're very thick. So let's see, I think this one's the Splash. Let me get you up so that you can see me a little bit better. I think this is, hold on, this is the Splash material, which is a lot thinner than the Fifth Pulse, and the cuff goes up longer. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these ones up here as like some of the next thinnest above there. See, there's way more over here. Let's see which one this is. Okay, this is the Fifth Pulse again. What's this? Oh yeah. The Splash material is so much thinner. Oh yeah. Okay, so these are gonna be, I would honestly say these are probably thinner than these ones. So the gray goes up here, and then what else do we have? We've got the purple. Let's see how thick these are. or these indigo. These ones are pretty thick. These ones are pretty thick. Not as thick as the pink. And then these are the black fifth poles. And these are pretty thick too. And then I have the red ones. And these ones are not as thick, I don't believe, because look, I can, oh, hold on, I've got them backwards. They tend to go on my hand a bit easier than some of the other ones. Not right now, but usually they do. And they're not as thick feeling. So I will put these beside the green and the lilac over here. Actually, I'll put them up here, and then I'll put these gray ones beside that. So put this other red one, and then I will probably do the black fifth pulse next. Yeah, they're pretty thick. And then after that, let's try these orange diamond grips on. Now these are pretty thick too. The only reason why they might go on a bit quicker is because they're not extra small, they're a small. But let's see here. Now I did have PI micro in a size 6, which I could not find. And those were pretty thin too, so they'd probably be down here in the bottom row, but the size 6.5 PIs is pretty thick material. So this is gonna be, but they are still easy to put on. So I'll go ahead and put this up here beside the black fifth poles. And then let's see. And then it's really just, you know, the rest of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the indigo up here. Let's see here. The navy, even though these are super huge, I'm sure they're very thick. The blue ones are very thick, so I'm gonna put the orange next. And then I'm gonna put the pink and then the fifth pulse blue. So that's surprising, honestly. I'm gonna show you. So that's really surprising because we've got the thinnest biogel sensor. You guys can't really even see that well. I'm gonna have to tilt it like this. And then we've got the black dragon latex, and we've got the mint nitrile. Then we've got the white McKesson. Then we've got the gold color track, purple color track. Then we've got the diamond grip, the cream diamond grips. Then up here we've got the biogel surgeon's gloves and also the PI micro. Would have probably been in this bottom row, but I only got like 2 of those in the mail. And then these ones are the white JMU, and oh, that reminds me, I have some that are a lot thicker with the thicker cuff that I said. These are actually really thick. Like they'll probably go like up here in the top row, honestly. So then I've got the green Diner X next to those. Got the blue Splash, the lilac Swift Grip, green nitrile, pink nitrile, and then I've got the red, gray, black fifth pulse, biogel PIs, the indigo, the navy, the orange diamond grip, and then way up here I've got the pink ones, the blue ones, and then those white Adina ones that are super thick and difficult to get on. So these 3, the blue fifth grip, the pink the blue fifth pulse, the pink Swift Grip, and the white Adinas are by and large the thickest, most difficult to get on. And then there you go. And then these are the thinnest, the mint, biogel, and the black latex. So those are the collection. And if you want to see, I'm sorry I had you at an awkward angle, but if you'd like to see how many gloves I have, you'll be very shocked, because it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm constantly picking up gloves around my house. So I'm gonna get you to see. Okay, so here's a full thing of gloves. And then I've got this huge deep box of gloves. Here's all these. And then I've got this huge box of gloves. And then I've got the biggest pack of all, which is, hold on, which is here, filled with gloves. It's about to have more. So, tons of medical gloves, tons of gloves. And that's not counting all the ones I've already tried on for videos, thrown away, you know, various other things. So a lot of gloves, and then I've also got all these surgical ones back here that I'm gonna put back in. So a lot of gloves, guys. And I'm gonna go ahead and do these now in color coding so they can be all pretty like a rainbow. So here I go. I might speed this part up, I don't know. So I'm gonna begin with the black. Black. Of course. Let's see, gray would be next, probably. And then maybe like a navy, and then blue, or yeah, maybe, I don't know, indigo, purple, pink, red, orange, gold, let's see, these tannish ones, diamond grips, and let's see, these ones up here, these, and then we're gonna go into the, let's see here, white, these whites, then we're gonna go into probably this, the mint, the green, and then, let's see, is that it? So, yeah, those are them color coordinated, so that's all the gloves. And I am going to take a picture of all these gloves, so, for my thumbnail. So today I am going to be trying on an all new surgical glove and I'm pretty excited. So let's just jump right into it. So I ordered these off of eBay. And this is what the packaging looks like. And they are actually biogel as well. What kind they are the 5.5 size, so the same size as the transparent, which the other ones are called biogel sensor, and they were the transparent ones. So I'm wondering, these will be a surprise because I don't even know what they look like. Hopefully they're different. Moment of truth. They actually look very similar. So they feel a little bit thicker than the other ones. Okay. So they are a bit thicker material than the other biogels that I have. Let's test that out. Oh yeah, much thicker. Much thicker. So it's the green packaging, not the red this time. So these still are very see-through. They're very smooth too. And after this, I am going to compare them with the other biogels. So let's one on. Much thicker material, and it's a little bit more smooth material than the other biogels too. The coloring is not all that different, but the feel of them are a lot different. They're more similar to the Deal Med ones, except for they're not white. So let's get this one on. So I'm going to take these over sleeve. Now at this point, the other biogel would have ripped by now. But these ones, like I said, thicker material. So let's get this over the sleeve more. So these go back pretty far, pretty far, which is good, right? So I really like these gloves, and let me compare it to the other biogel packaging because I'm kind of confused on what the brand name is for this one. So this one plainly says biogel sensor, and this one is biogel surgeons. Of course it didn't come in the box, but yeah, because see, biogel sensor and then biogel surgeons. So the surgeons is much thicker material than the sensor ones. So, and I am going to talk about, like I said, I'm going to compare them with the other gloves. obviously the number one thing that is good in any type of medical glove, surgical glove, whatever, is a really durable, you know, sleeve. It would be nice maybe if like the fingers, maybe like if it fit to the inside of the finger a bit better, but that's the only complaint I have with these. They are a lot more form-fitting. You can feel them, they're a lot more snug on the arm, but they were easy to put on and they're not gonna rip on you. So if you're a fan of the transparent biogel and you're an actual surgeon or whatever, you don't want it to rip while you're quick, like if you're in emergency surgery, I feel like these would be your best bet because they're not gonna rip on you putting them on. So yeah, very transparent, very sleek, smooth, form-fitting. I would definitely recommend these. So, beautiful. Love these gloves, love them. Now I'm going to compare it. I'm gonna compare it. Ooh, and they slide off very easily too. Now I'm going to put it on. Now this is inside out at this point, but the mark of a true good glove is the ability to put it on, to reuse it without it ripping. It really proves the flexibility and durability of the gloves. So I feel like surgical, yeah, so I feel like surgical gloves in general are a bit trickier to get on than regular medical gloves, but as far as, you wouldn't want to use these twice after a surgery anyways, but you know, as far as putting them on the first time, just like the other two gloves, you know, these are pretty good. Let's try to put it on again now that it's not inside out anymore. Oh yeah, easy. Easy, easy. Let's stretch it over the sleeve again. Oh yeah. The difference. The difference in like durability and stretch, it is light years away from the sensor ones. So I feel like the next topic is to pull her off. Comes off in one pull, very nice. Is to now these have ripped on me several times, and I'm sure you guys have seen it before in these videos, but I am just going to compare them side by side for you. Okay. So let's put the right one on. Here's the sensor. As you can already tell from camera, much thinner. This was the surgeon's, this is the sensor. already. You can tell how much flimsier this one is. It also has this kind of weird, I don't think you can see it on camera, but it has kind of this like textury, kind of like grippy type feel to it. But anyways, let's put this one on side by side and compare. Oops, I nail. Okay, so those slipped on very easily, but well, of course now they're not gonna want to rip now that I'm trying to show you the difference. But here's the two together. Now, I will say that after a while, and they're the same, branded at the same size, I will say after a while, this one does, it is kind of squeezing at my hand a bit more, and this one is not, and it does fit around the fingers. See, that's how that one is a lot better than the other, and it is more transparent. I feel like it's more true. It picks up more true to my natural skin tone, where this one has a bit more of a like a tan to it. But these are the two side by side. They go down to about the same level. However, this one is more smooth. This one is more textured on the bottom. But these ones are a hit and miss with whether or not they're gonna break on you. This time they did not. But here's the two side by side. Subtle differences, but, and see, you can move your fingers a lot better in these ones because they're a thinner material, which also has its downsides though. So here we go. Now I'm going to try the same thing with this. See, now with this, you cannot get it off in one swipe or it'll just bust. So I have to kind of, you know, like that. But now let's turn it back over. See how easy this one is to get back on. So we've got the thumb over here. We've got each finger. We've got, okay. Okay, went back on super easy. So, and I'm not being gentle with it either, because I want to have a true comparison. Okay. So these are the comparisons, which it's kind of a fun one to compare just because, see this one? Off, lickety split. This one, it takes a bit more to get it off. So, because there's more material to grip from with this one than this one. So, those were the two biogels. Side by side, they both have their pros and they both have their cons, which makes it fertile ground for comparison. So which one did you prefer? What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this right-handed Surgeon's Biogel and compare it with the unused Biogel sensor and see what happens. Let's give it one more good round. So let's put it on. fingertips all in there. Now, for some reason today, these are not wanting to rip on me, you know. But they are prone to ripping. I just want to put that out there. But here, like I said, it has a more kind of grip-like texture feel. The outside, very thin material, very transparent, pretty flexible and durable to a point. So let's put the other ones back on. Ooh. Now, keep in mind, these have already been tried on, this particular glove. Let's get it over the, okay. Again, smoother. This grips better to your hand. This, let's just put it this way. It feels a lot more like the Deal Med white one, but looks more like the other Biogel. Which is your favorite? Now I'm gonna do a fun thing. See, these are not gonna go off as easily. So I'm gonna compare this to the white Deal Med because I feel like the consistency of it is way more similar. And these are all 5.5. You've all seen these gloves before by now too, if you've watched my videos. So, and if you guys like these surgical try-ons, I can order more of these gloves. They have like a blue pair on eBay as well that I'm interested in trying if you guys are. So let's put the left one on. See, she's white. Put it on. Now these ones are thicker than the Biogel Sensor, not as thick as these. I can already tell off the bat, these are not as thick as these ones, but I'm gonna put it on. Now these, well, there we go. I don't believe that these ones have ever ripped on me, these Deal Meds. So, here's the two side by side. Obviously, it fits better to the hand. Oh, this one's a lot more grippy in texture. It's smooth, but it's very, you know, whereas this one is just, it feels more like those black dragon I cannot speak today. It feels more like those black dragon latex med gloves. These ones do, with how smooth they feel and sound. These ones, on the other hand, are even more textured. Well, not textured. The sensors are textured. These ones are just straight up grippy. These ones are smooth. But again, these ones they go down a lot further than both biogels. But, you know, I feel if I had to pick, I would pick the Deal Meds are the best overall, just because they're durable, they're long, they form fit, and they're still kind of transparent. Not as transparent, but so yeah, not as impressed with either Deal Med, but there's that. Okay, now I will say with these ones, you cannot just snip these off either. You have to kind of pull at it, because again, they're not as thick material. But these are actually proving to be the toughest to get off, because I guess they stick more. I don't know. They're a little bit more difficult to get on too, but once they're on, they fit great. So let's keep oiling it down. So again, let me know which glove was your favorite. I know I've compared the Biogel Sensor and the Deal Med before, but now I've compared all three. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you'd like to see next time. And I'll go forth. Make sure to visit my Patreon. I will be doing more like evil medical type role plays on there. You can also get your customs, so it's worth checking it out. So yeah. Hi guys. So today I'm going to be doing an ASMR about my favorite medical gloves and where you can get them. Now all of these gloves will be linked down below with an affiliate link for you to check out. So, going to start off, begin these white extra small latex JMU gloves. There's not a whole lot of them left, but here's one, and here's one. There's not a whole lot of them left, but I do like these gloves. They're fairly simple to put on. So, I mean, they still need a tad adjusting, but they are pretty durable. I haven't had these break on me, and this is a pretty thick jacket, and they still go over the cuff pretty nicely. So I do like these white gloves, and these were actually the first real pair to my collection. I'm gonna have to purchase another box. Yeah, but most of the medical gloves would have broken by now. Trying to get over the sleeve, so. Love the gloves, love the gloves, love the gloves. So, those were the JMU. Now, and you can get those on Amazon, and there will be a link below. It's something I just went to Amazon, typed it in, extra small white gloves, and there it was. So Amazon for that. And then here's the next one. The Biogel Sensor gloves that y'all love, the extra small. The 5.5. I do like these because they're different. They have a little different feel. They're transparent. I did not get these on Amazon. You can find these. Your best bet is eBay, because they don't sell biogel on Amazon. For some reason, there is like an online store that they sell these at, but they cost hundreds of dollars. Like this box would have been like 75 bucks probably if I bought it, you know, directly from the store. So I got this on eBay. I found these on eBay. So yeah, your best bet if you want some biogel is, if you want some affordable biogel, go to eBay. That's where I got these. So, and these are obviously a favorite glove of mine as well. I can put them on for you again, just to remind you how awesome they are. So they open up like this. Natural rubber latex surgical gloves. So these are rubber and latex mixed together. Let's try to see if we can get them on. All right. Those went on really well. Let's see if we can get them over the cuff here. Oh, I probably not, just because the cuff is like, it keeps, but they are pretty, I mean, they're not as durable as the other medical glove brand, but they feel like a second skin, literally. These are a second skin, so that's one pair. And see how it just glided on my hand. So these, if you're looking for surgical gloves, these are a really good pick. Do the other one. There we go. And then it does stretch. These are the good things about these. They're very elastic. They do stretch far up the arm, as you have probably seen in my other videos. Can't even tell I'm wearing any, honestly. Like if I put the sleeve over here, you cannot tell that I'm wearing gloves. So those are these. All right, we're gonna take them off and we are going to put them back in the box. And we're going to pick out another pair. Now these are the extra small black latex gloves. Latex gloves, latex gloves, latex gloves. And I love these. I also got these off Amazon and I will link it below. But I'm a huge fan of these. They're probably my absolute favorite out of all of the ones that I have. They're the black Microflex Black Dragon. But they're just so sleek. They're extra small as well, but they go on very nicely, and they're very elastic, very durable. They have a really good stretch to them, and they're really thin on, and they make a really cool noise. So these are one of my top Although today they don't look like they're wanting to cooperate as much. But once you get them on, they are really, really nice. You can see they're really durable. They're really, they're just really good. So those are the black dragons. I'll have them linked below. And then I have these Deal Med surgical gloves, and these I did get off Amazon, so you can get these off Amazon, and I'll have them linked below. They were around, I think, 30 bucks. Not too bad for a whole box of premium surgical gloves. So I can try and put a pair on for you guys to demonstrate. But I've had these for a long time and I still haven't run out, so there's a lot in the box. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to go pattern my hands. My hands are sticking to everything. Hold on. I think it's because I lotioned up my hands real good last night, so they're probably not. Okay, here we go. There we go. And then these ones are very durable. Went on well. The durability of these is the selling point, I think. And then the biogel, the selling point is more like the sleek second skin type look. So, but these are really nice. Let me put the second one on. Oops. I put this on wrong. Did I put this on wrong? And then these have never ripped on me. I don't believe. These have never ripped on me. So they're really good. Really nice. Really form-fitting, stretchy. You guys seen they go past the elbow. So those are these. Really, really durable. All right. I'm going to put these back in their box. And make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Check out my Patreon. There'll be a link for that. Yeah. Alrighty. So put this back in the box. And then the cool gray, that's what they're called, extra small nitro, and I did find these on Amazon as well. I'll have a link down below, but I like these ones because they have a really like sleek, like shiny, stretchy finish. You've seen it in one of the thumbnails. I really like it. I like the color gray, but these are like, they're awesome. I like these ones a lot. Let me put these on. And no, I'm not just showing you every single pair I have. I'm showing you the ones that I personally like most. See how cool those are? They're different, they're cool, see, they have like a subtle little shine to them. Let's put the other one on. So it looks like they're like, but they're really nice. I like them. And I know the stretches are your guys' favorites, and these babies can stretch. If my sleeve wouldn't keep popping out. I don't think these have ever ripped on me either. So very, very nice. See how that's all the way? Love these gloves, love these gloves. I will have their link down below. All right, let's get to some other ones. So let's see here. Okay, so here are the McKesson. These are the extra small white medical gloves as well, but they are McKesson and not the JMU. I also really like these ones. Let's try them on. I like these because they're a little bit more sensitive. Like, they rip a little bit easier, but they're very, like, form-fitting, like the Biogel. So I really like that about them. So yeah, it's the first one, and then here's the second one. So for all you, whether you clean houses, you work in healthcare, whatever you do that requires gloves, these are some of the comfiest. But yeah, so really nice, really, really nice. Feels like a second skin. Awesome. Okay, so those were the, whoops, those were the McKessons. All right, let's go to another pair. The indigo. Oh, and you can also get the McKesson off Amazon, so I'll link those down below too. Most of these are Amazon. This is Amazon. This is the extra small ice blue is what they call it, but it's more purple to me. Plenty comes in this pack. Tons come in this pack. 250, so let's try these on. I really like these as well because I think the color pops, and they also have a good stretch to them. Let's put this on. So yes, you can get these off Amazon. As well. They're kind of similar to the gray ones in that they give a nice sheen. So I really like these. I will say it takes a bit more effort to get them on because they're very durable, but you won't have to worry about them ripping or anything like that. So All right. Let's move on. So those were the purple, and then, you know, I gotta get my mint in there. These are also extra small, latex free, and you can get these off Amazon also. And these are just like the gray and indigo. And that they do go on pretty well. And they're very durable. So, like, I've reused and reused the same pair of these gloves, and they have never ripped. So, and they're a cool color. I know you guys really like the color of these. So, if these sleeves weren't so like difficult to maneuver, I'm sure they could go over it. So there is that. See, look how well they went over. Really nice, really nice, really nice. All right. Let's try out some others. So, I personally love the extra small vinyl because I think they're different and they're kind of fun to put on. They're like a different substance. Let me try to put one of these on. Oops, these ones did rip. Okay, never mind. I'm actually not the hugest fan of these, but if you're interested, you can find them on Amazon. Let's see here. What else do we have? I do also like the pink. These on. Of course, you can find these on Amazon too. They can be kind of stiff, but once they're on there, I mean, they go on pretty well. And they match my top. So, let's put these babies on. So, cute, 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 cute. All right, now I've shown you some of the ones I don't like and some of the ones I do like. I want to show you. Now, hold on a second. I like the red also. The red is cute. Goes on pretty well. But they're not my favorite because, but they go on. They're very durable. Look at that. Very, very durable. So obviously you can also get these ones on Amazon, and these are second use. Like, these are not even fresh out the box. Let's see here. So that's one of the key things about this. They're not as smooth to go on, but they're very durable and stretchy. Like, they're not so much a second skin as they are just really I really like them for this aspect. So if you're interested, these will also be linked. And then I also wanted to show you guys the black nitrile. I compared this with the dragon ones in one of my videos. Now these, I wasn't as huge of a fan of them because they, oops, too many there. They just, they're very hard to get on. These are extra small, but now keep in mind I have powdered my hands since. But normally, I mean, it depends, because if your hands has more moisture in it or isn't as dry, the nitrile goes on really well. It's just kind of like, but the latex works better for dry hands. That's what I've noticed. So these are also very durable. Very, very durable. And I really like these too. Let's test out the other pair. So you won't have to worry about the gloves ripping mid-procedure. Or mid-checkup, whatever. But yeah, I like them. They make some pretty good sounds. So, those were that. Now I also have the green pair, the lime green, which isn't my favorite just because I feel like they're not, they don't pop as much, if you know what I mean. And the vinyl, very hard to put on. They're not very durable. I think they're more so meant for just like food kitchen type stuff, and the small ones are hard to get on, but I showed you all of my favorite ones. Now I'm going to show you the rubber gloves. Now the yellow rubber gloves that I wore in yesterday's video, I found those at Walmart, and they weren't even extra small, they were small. And I was hesitant to get them because I'm like, well, are these gonna be small enough? Put them on, they were hard as shit to get on. Like, really tight. Now, the kids' pink ones that I ordered off Amazon, which I will link below too for any of you interested, those were so buttery smooth putting them on, and they also fit better while still being snug. So I will link those down below, but let me go find them to show you them eventually. And I like the rubber gloves, the short black rubber gloves. I'm not a huge fan of the long ones, just because they're they smell weird and they're kind of hard to get on. But I will show you later in this video me putting on the pink rubber gloves, as well as stretching some of the gloves past my elbow. But I have a couple errands to run, but when I'm back, I will finish up the video and finish up showing you guys. And I will also rate all of them from favorite to least favorite, since I know I showed you guys a lot so far. So, all right, I'm gonna end this video here, and I'll be back for the next part right now. Okay, hi guys, I'm back. So I am going to take the gloves that I have already tried on for you guys and do them to the elbow, and we'll see which ones stretch further. So these are the Deal Med ones. I'm gonna take a Deal Med. Hold on a second. A Deal Med on my left hand. Oh, this is ballooning up. Come on, get that. Sorry, these are obviously being put on a second time, so they're not going to be as easily slipped. Okay. So, okay, so this is dry, no water or anything added to it, but we're gonna see how far they go. Okay, so dry, this is about as far as they go to Deal Meds, and then of course they are gonna roll up just a little bit on their own, but yeah, so that's how far these ones go. Okie dokie. Now, oh my gosh, I'm gonna see. Is this is the left one, okay, and it's inside out. So this is the right one, and we're gonna see how far this one stretches. And also, as I promised, I'm gonna rate these, because I like all of the ones I showed you, but I'm gonna rate them as well. Ooh. Okay, those went on a little bit easier. Let's see. Okay, so kind of same thing here. Let's see how they stay. Okay, so they're nearly identical in terms of how far they're stretched up. Now notice how these ones went on a little bit easier from the second use. But yeah, so those are those. Okay, I take them off. And then I'm pretty sure we did the stretches with the black latex dragons do stretch. They're a little bit longer than the black nitrile. You can go watch that video of me comparing those. And then, yeah, So basically they're all about the same. As far as stretch, the nitrile will only go up like to here. And then both the surgical gloves will go up to here on a good day, but as far as rating the gloves, I will say that my favorite are probably the Biogel surgical gloves. Those are my favorite, and again, you can get those off eBay. It's what I would recommend. And then my second favorite, let's see here. I really like the purple glove, or the, no, yeah. I really like the mint gloves because they were really durable at the bottom. They went over that huge cuff. So I think Biogel, mint, and then I do like the moccasin. The white moccasin would probably be third. Fourth would probably be probably the indigo. Fifth would be the gray. Sixth would be the Deal Med surgical gloves. And then, oh no, wait a minute. Okay, first is Biogel. Second is the mint. Third is a Black Dragon latex. Fourth is the indigo. And then fifth is the Deal Med. So those are the top five. You can get these Deal Med ones on Amazon. I'll link it. They're kind of fun to put on. They're, you know, different. They feel sturdy on your hands. So this is in number 5. And then number 4. Yeah, number 4. Number 4 is the extra small black latex Black Dragon. These are the 4th best, in my opinion. Get them off Amazon. And then the 3rd best is the mint nitrile. I just noticed that these have pretty much the most durability when they're going over the cuff. And you guys seem to really like the color too, and I like this color. So these are rated number 3. And then number 2, just a second, are the extra small white moccasin. I just think they go on really smoothly. They're like a second skin, and they're the white. So these are the 2nd best out of all of them, in my opinion. You can get these off Amazon also. And then the winner, I don't think it'll be much of a surprise, are the Biogel. The Biogel gloves. I really like the Biogel gloves because they are just cool. They go on easy. They're like a second skin. They're transparent, and yeah. So those were my medical gloves and where to get them. They're all Amazon except for the Biogel. Those were eBay. Now, I did pick up some extra small medical masks because I know you guys were like, telling me that I needed a mask that was more snug, so I did get the N95, which you guys saw in the role play. But then I also found these littler medical masks at Walgreens. Was it Walgreens? It was either CVS or Walgreens, and I found this and I was super pumped, so we're gonna try it on. So this is what she looks like. But yeah, so I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it for you guys as always. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, I take that back. I just was trying to put on a McKesson, reuse a McKesson for the thumbnail, and it completely snapped on me. So, and then this is the latex black one. So let me update my list. Okay. Biogel number 1, black latex number 2, mint number 3. The 4th would be the Deal Med surgical gloves, and the 5th would be the gray nitrile. So okay guys, so I am back with another video. So in today's video, it's going to be a very relaxing vibe, cozy vibe, hence the teddy bears on my shirt. And it is going to be the why medical gloves video. And I did want to show off these gloves that I got in the mail today. They are the Golden Glow Luminous Collection Color Track Small Nitrile Gloves. And I want to try on a pair for you guys. So I think we should just start off. So why medical gloves? How did I get into them? I've gotten a lot of comments that I have a lot of medical gloves and I must really love them. And most people think it's just about the noises, but that's not entirely true. See, look at how these are. Luminous, and they match my sweater. I got into medical gloves because, first of all, I've followed ASMR a little bit, and I've watched videos here and there. I was never drawn to the whispering or mouth sounds, like the very traditional ASMR. At this point, all ASMR has grown on me, and I've learned to appreciate and enjoy all ASMR content. However, at first I was not a big roleplay fan, medical ASMR fan, whispering fan. It was more just tactile sounds. I liked typing videos, you know, where they typed on the keyboard, you know, like 10 different keyboards, and they would only show the keyboard and their fingers. They wouldn't even show their face. I really liked those. I would have them on in the background as white noise as I was working, just for like office vibe motivation. So I really liked those. I also liked the collage paper sounds videos where it was also, they were only showing their hands. And then I started off trying to do the same thing. I was like, hey, maybe I could do something with this. Seems pretty easy. All you have to do is type. Well, I tried to start this channel off as just a cards channel and just show my hands shuffling the cards. But I started getting more requests trickle in about different things, and eventually started getting medical glove requests, and they started trickling in, and after a while I was like, wow, maybe I should really just try this, because it had never interested me before. I never thought about it, never watched videos on it. So I went ahead and tried it, and you guys loved it. You loved the sounds. So I kept doing it. Okay, I'm gonna try these on again. They're so pretty. They are not extra small, but they're still very gorgeous, so I had to order them. So yeah, and then I learned to enjoy the sounds. Started watching other ASMR glove videos, fell in love with the sounds. Now it's like one of my favorite videos to watch. And I have a lot of you commenting, I didn't know, you know, gloves can make so many sounds, or, you know, that's kind of neat. And same, I didn't really think about it either. But I like making the content, you know, they're easy to incorporate into role plays. They're good just on their own for sounds, and this is another big one. I know a lot of people, well, not a lot, but I know some people might have hand and feet fetishes, but that's not at all why I make these videos. You know, you can't control everything that every single viewer, you know, what their motivations are. But I think most of you like just the sounds that they make, and same, I love the sounds that they make now. These look like something like Willy Wonka would wear. The golden ticket, the golden ticket. And so, you know, the content is fairly easy to film. It's fun to film. And I started getting on this kick where I was like, hey, I could do kind of a series with this. I could buy a new color, a new brand each week and film a video. And they were very well received. So, you know, if your audience likes it, why not keep doing it? If you like it and the audience really likes it, what more could you ask for? They're fairly inexpensive to purchase, and yeah. And if all else fails, at least I'll have a lot of medical gloves to fall back on when I'm cleaning my house, right? So, whenever a request comes in for, you know, a medical glove, and I've had that certain request for a while, I will definitely look into purchasing those. Like the Biogel and all those other ones that you guys loved. So those are the gold luminous. Just wanted to kind of briefly share those on here. Now this video is going to be more or less like a sound bath video with me explaining why in the heck I love medical gloves in between. So the next pair that I will be showcasing in this Why Medical Glove video is the brand Adina Latex gloves, gold textured, and these are extra small. So I know you guys love the extra small white, and these are supposed to be extra small white. So let's see. And what do you know? More extra small white medical gloves. And how the heck are these different than the other two boxes? We'll see. And I also had a lot of people commenting saying, I really love this channel. You know, there's not a lot of glove content like this on YouTube, and that's true. I mean, at the end of the day, there isn't, you know, as much, you know, oversaturation with medical glove sounds. So, you know, the videos tend to do well. So I keep making them, you know, why not? And I've tried out other, ooh, gotta get the fingers in there. Each little finger. There we go. Okay, these ones seem pretty durable too. Gotta get them over that sweater sleeve. I feel like each medical glove sound is distinct. Each one sounds just a little bit different. And by the way, the 2-hour version of this is going on my Patreon. I've already done a why medical gloves on there, but this one goes way more in depth. So that one was well received, and so can this one. All right, so I'm gonna stop explaining and talking for a while, and we're just gonna enjoy the sounds of these gloves. Put the other one on. Sorry, my phone died there for a second. But yeah, I really do like these gloves. They're a little, they ride up a little bit on the fingers, but they've got some cool snappy sounds. This one cuffed on its own. Let's try to pull it back over the sleeve. There we go. So yeah, that's really why I like medical glove sounds, because each glove can be a little different. So yeah, let's just enjoy the sounds of these new gloves. And these are also some of the sounds you will hear on the sound bath if you purchase that one with no talking. Just some stretching sounds. But yeah, these ones are already proving to be super, super durable. Where's that box again? So yeah, I was confused at first if these were actually gold, white, or transparent. but it seems like they are just another white pair. But they're cool, very durable. They've got a little bit of extra fabric on them, it feels like. But overall, they are a good choice, a good medical glove. And if you have fat fingers, they'll probably definitely work. So that is the Edina. Want me to try them on again? Let's roll the cuff down this time. Okay, so another reason why I chose medical gloves as my niche is because well, it's mostly because you guys love the sounds. And I like the sounds too. And there's not a huge market of it on ASMR right now. So, a lot of creators will do medical gloves, but they won't use them as the focus of the video, and they won't explore them nearly as much as I do. But yeah. So these are the gloves. I will say they're very, very durable, but the cuff is not very form-fit. These gloves are not very form-fitting. The material is kind of, you know, it'll slide up. It has some extra skin here, but as far as like sensitivity, they're very, very durable. So I'm going to take these off and try them again, see how easy they go on a second time. Just do enjoy some crinkle sounds right now. So yeah, like I said, I used to just go to the Dollar Tree and pick out whatever they had. It would usually be like a extra large dishwashing glove, and I would literally use that for emptying the trash, cleaning my house, and I would have to keep rebuying them. So gloves were never really far up on my list. However, like I said, it was just kind of a, you know, one step into the next. I personally really enjoyed the tactile hand movement sounds more so than the whispering and the acting and all that. So medical gloves actually fits that really well for me. It's a trigger that, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect or precise, and, you know, anything really goes as long as it sounds well with medical gloves. So yeah, I was never a huge ASMR viewer. I did like very, very specific niches, such as the typing on the different keyboards, those long montages. I really liked the, you know, touching and sorting the papers with the collages. Just kind of depended on what mood. I really liked the extra long nails and like tapping them together. I really like tactile. So the fact that my audience likes tactile, like they really prioritize the actual sounds of the gloves over everything else, and putting them on and taking them off is very similar to what I like, just a different prop, you know? So that's interesting to me. And, you know, the glove sounds have grown on me. They really have. And as I've now as a creator myself, I've learned to enjoy all types of ASMR content, the whispering included, the whispering, the fingers, the long medical role plays. Like, I learn a little bit from everybody, enjoy them, and take some of that to my own channel. But overall, I believe that the medical gloves will always be the feature of my videos, just because it performs so well. That's kind of how what I'm known as on YouTube now, and there's not a lot of it. So it might feel like I'm doing so much medical glove stuff, but in the grand scheme of YouTube, I think I'm capitalizing on it very well. So, and like I said, see, these gloves do have a lot of extra baggage to them, but they do make good sounds, and they don't rip easily, so that's a plus. But I really like this glove, I really do, and it's extra small. Really like it. So, and you know, your viewers and you may not always like the same things, you know? But there are still a lot of similarities between me and my audience, like I said, you know? So it kind of comes to a compromise, and medical gloves is just what seems to work for both of us, you know? So I really do love them. Love the sounds of them, you know, and it fits a broader audience than, let's say, hair play or, you know, makeup tutorials. I feel like glove sounds can reach both a female and male audience, and everyone can enjoy the sounds and what they embody, you know, and it isn't something that you guys may be thinking it is. And it is not meant to be a fetish. That was not anywhere on my radar. It still isn't. These are honestly just for the sounds and the, you know, tactile, whatever, nothing more, nothing less. And so I know that some people may like it because they have a hand fetish or whatever, but that's not at all why I'm doing it. And you can't control, especially in ASMR, any ASMR, you can't control every single person's intention that views your stuff. But that is not why I love the medical gloves. I like them because at this point, obviously, they've become somewhat of a collectible. And not only have I just stuck to medical gloves, I've also tried out leather gloves, I've tried out rubber gloves, but I feel like there's more of a variety of different kinds of medical gloves. And plus they go with medical role plays and that kind of content easily. So, and you can also clean with them. So multiple uses for these. And these are pretty too. They have like a luminous effect to them. So they can really be used for anything. Sounds, costuming, cleaning, healthcare, you name it, you know, they're very versatile. So I think it's time to try on a new pair. So instead of making each one of these their own separate video, I felt like I would incorporate them into this extra long video explaining why I love these gloves so much. Let me put on the JMU extra small white, because I know that's the all-time favorite of most of you, that and the Biogel. All right, here's 2 of those. But yeah, each different brand of glove seems to have its pros and cons, you know. And also, ooh, that's kind of billowed up right there. Also, what was I gonna say, guys? Maybe I should shut up for a little bit and just let you enjoy these sounds for a sec. The fingertips in there. But back to my little sentiment here. I also like medical gloves because they are, see, these ones have a little bit of extra skin in the top too, not quite as much as the others, and they form a bit better, like they stay instead of rolling up. There's, you know, and they don't rip very easily either. And not only can these be used for just straight up sounds, but they can be used for, you know, obviously washing the dishes, scrubbing your house, a myriad of different role plays, like hairdressers use these, massagists, scientists, all kinds of different nurses, dentists, doctors, and probably a lot more. So, you know, investigators, what, like, you have it, what have you. So it's nice. But that is, you know, if you were all wondering, no, it's not because I just have this weird obsession with them. It's not because it's a fetish. That's literally about all there is to it. And also why I wanted to incorporate the new gloves that came in the mail today for me instead of making my own separate try-on video of them is because I feel like that has been, you know, I don't want to burn out my audience on that one type of video. And that's another thing about medical gloves is you can use them in so many different video formats. I'll switch up the way that the gloves are presented or the theme of the video, but the focal point will always be, you know, the medical gloves. And it also gives me more motivation to clean my house afterwards if I've got cute, convenient gloves just to throw on, you know? And a lot of the times I found they're easier to put on than rubber gloves are. Because I found with rubber gloves, they're either too loose and they feel weird that way, or they're too like tight to get on. Like those small yellow ones I bought the other day, they like, I really had to just like, these ones are a little bit more flexible, a little bit more forgiving. So a lot of the times I would rather clean with these than rubber gloves. So how about we try layering the gold on top? Since these are bigger size-wise, or at least marked bigger. Let's see here. Ooh. So yeah, I hope you've got your headphones in. I hope you're laid back, cozy in a blanket, and are just enjoying the tactile sounds. They're really fun to purchase for my videos, you know, because they're all a little bit different. And I can collect them and be excited to use them in a video each time. So. And hopefully this video helps some people that work in healthcare or use gloves for their job pick a pair that will fit them and work for them the best. Whether you pick up trash on the side of the road, work in TSA, work in the hospital, or just want to have a good, comfy, durable pair while cleaning your house, maybe my videos could encourage some of that. Comment down below if you guys really like these shiny gold gloves. So, let's take these ones off. Now we're just left with the white JMU. But yeah, you really can't go wrong with these ones either. They are latex as well, and I prefer the latex to the nitrile. I really do. I know a lot of glove boxes try to make that their selling point of latex free, but honestly, I prefer the latex. So now, since we've had them over the sleeves, ow, I will say make sure you shave your arm hair before doing this because kind of pulls it, your arm hair. Okay, I'm gonna put it back over. Here we go with that. Same over here. Get all comfy cozy. So I'm gonna take these off. Just the other ones. So now that you guys know all about why I like medical gloves, now we can just enjoy a no talking last half of the video. You know, go ahead and put them back on. Comment down below if you think the small gloves are any worse or better than the extra small, or if you can even tell a difference in the size. Ooh, these are quite the mission. Getting these fingers out, aren't they? Feel my teddy bear sweater. Follow the light. Okay guys, so today we are going to be comparing the white extra small latex JMU gloves with the latex extra small white McKesson gloves, as well as comparing the extra small biogel surgical gloves and the extra small Deal Med surgical gloves. So we're going to be comparing all the extra small white gloves today. So we are first going to start off with the McKesson extra small white gloves, and this is kind of gonna be like my the black compare video, where one hand's gonna be one glove, the other hand's gonna be the other glove. Okay, so all right, so here's the first one. gonna go ahead and put this on my left hand. Okay. All right, so that went on really easily, really smoothly. And let's see how durable it is over the sleeve. Okay. Has a nice feel to it, very soft, very thin, very smooth. Those were the McKesson. Now, let's try the JMU. Okay. And the JMU will go on my right hand. Okay. Here we go. So here's the JMU. This one already much more difficult to get on. It's not nearly as smooth. Hold on. Get the fingertips in there. Fingertips, fingertips, fingertips. Okay, now let's pull these up over the sleeve. Ooh. So these are the difference, and if you look real close, you can kind of see where there's a little bit of, you have to kind of smooth it out on this hand. This one's automatically smooth. So these are the comparisons between JMU and McKesson. Now they're the exact same glove, but just different brands. This one feels a bit more sticky, like it's sticking to my hands a bit more. It doesn't feel as flexible. I don't know. It's still a nice glove. It just doesn't feel as smooth and, you know, like an extra skin like this one. But I would say based on feel on the hands, I definitely picked that one. But we can always continue with the durability. So these are pretty durable. They don't really, you know, these ones are much more thin, and not as, I feel like they don't have the ability to go quite as long because they're not as durable. But that is my comparison between the JMU and the McKesson. So yep. And then next we are going to compare the surgical gloves. Ow. Okay, so that one went off very easily. This one. Okay. So here's the McKesson. There was the JMU. So now it's time to compare Biogel and Deal Med. And comment down below your favorites, of course. So here is the Deal Med. So I'm going to use the left one. Put it on my left hand. See how easily it goes on. Take this over the sleeve. Okay. Now those are the Deal Med. Now let's try on a bio gel and compare. So we're going to take the right one. As you can see, it's already got more of a transparent skin tone type color to it, where this one is just white. Okay, let's try this on. Okay, let's try to see the glove over the sleeve. I don't want to break them, but at the same time, I want to be able to have an accurate comparison as far as in terms of durability. Okay, so this is the biogel, and this is the Deal Med. So I will say that the Deal Med's cuffs are a little bit stronger and more suctiony. These ones are really good. You know, for like the looks and being transparent and all that. I feel like they're a bit thinner on. I feel like these went on a bit more easily, but these, once they're on, they have more of a thin, like skin-like feel. So that was the surgical glove comparison. Still gonna try to get it to go over the sleeve. So again, both the McKesson and the Biogel are thinner and smoother on the hand. However, the Deal Med and the JMU are both a little bit more suctiony and durable. So it just depends, I guess, what you are feeling that particular day. So, yep. Let's get this over the sleeve a bit more. There we go. Well, actually, I take that back. That did pretty well right there. But these ones, I've been able to take these ones all the way up to the elbow before. So, I don't know, they're both pretty good. Comment what you think. These don't make as rubbery of noises as these ones. But let me know which you would like. Now, while I have each pack open, I think I'm gonna do double serger glove here and double serger glove here. So although these are meant for the other hand, this one's meant to be on the left one, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it on this hand anyways. Let's see how they do doubled up. And this is with no powder, no oils, no water, no nothing, just straight to my hand. Ooh. Let's see here. Now I know that part of the appeal of the biogel is the transparency of them, so doubling up the glove could take away from that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. Okay. Gotta adjust those fingers. Okay. Now let's do the other deal med. Okay, so okay. Deal med. Ooh. Now this one is tricky because, like I said, these ones have way more suction, so they're really sticking to my hand, hard to get on. They're a little bit thicker. Oh, yeah, this is difficult. That's difficult. These, much more flexible, much more smooth, more durable, more suctiony, more rubbery. So transparency, rubbery, durable, suctiony, smooth, you know. So I guess depends on what you're feeling that day, right? But I'm not gonna put this one all the way on because I feel like it would be very difficult. So you need, like, there's that finger, here's this finger. Very difficult. Yeah, it's not working to work that well, guys, but any of you surgeons that like to double up on gloves, these might be your better bet. But yeah, so, and these also, they suction to your hand a little bit, trying to get them off. There we go. And then biogel. And the last one. Okay. So those were the gloves. Maybe we should try so here's all those gloves here. Not gonna throw them away, don't want them to go to waste. but I will try on the McKesson and JMU one more time for good measure. So McKesson goes on right hand this time. And slips right on there. Get it over the sleeve. Beautiful. And then, oopsie, I accidentally dumped them all out. And then the JMU can go on the other hand. So, see, these are a bit more difficult to get on this time around. Gotta put it over the sleeve. And guys, remember to check out my Patreon if you want to. The memberships have all the bloopers. These are smoother. They have a smoother texture. These are thinner, which it can be nice. And these are just smoother, so. So, that is that. And I know you're all gonna be like, oh, double up on those ones too, so. I won't disappoint. Here's another JMU. Very nice feeling, very smooth. And then another McKesson. Okie dokie. Also went on very smoothly. So I feel like they're about the same. So anyways, just let me know. These are a little bit squeakier. Let me know which ones are your favorite in the comments. And I will be back very shortly with another video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching yet again. And I'll see you guys later. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's a free way to support me, and it'll guarantee more immersive videos for y'all. Thank you. I have Diamond Grip Microflex extra small gloves, and we're gonna see what they look like together. So here we go. Let's see what they look like. I've never tried Diamond Grip before, so I'm excited. This box is kind of funky, but this is what they look like. Pull one out. Okay. They look very similar to some of the surgical gloves. Put that one there. We'll pull out another one. Okay, now let's see if they're actually Diamond Grip. They have little grips more on the fingertips. I don't really feel it on the palm of the glove, but the fingers definitely, that's why, you know, diamond grip. So we're gonna try them on. They are an extra small. Well, let's see how these ones fit. Those went on really easy. Let's see if they're durable. They go over the sleeve. All right, so let's pull each finger up. There we go. Okay, so I can kind of feel the little ridges there. Very cute. They match my sweater, but they're cute. So let's do the next one. Let's see. But guys, I really like these ones so far. I really love them. I think these are like my favorite so far. Like, they go on super easy. They feel nice on the skin. They're elastic. They're durable. They have the diamond grip. I really like them. Really, really like them. Are for medical use. I do want to put that out there. That doesn't mean you can't use them for other things like cleaning and cooking, but their sole purpose, they were created for medical use. So very elastic. I love the elasticity of it. We're gonna pull it on. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. So these are good. These would be good if you live in a cold climate for like shoveling ice and snow, because they double up very easily. They'll keep your hands warm, and they have the grip texture at the fingertips, so you know your fingers won't get sore from doing all that, and they slip on really easy, off really easy. There's tons of them in the box, so they just give you extra finger protection. So you can use these for automotive repair, any of you cars people. You can use them for industrial assembly, plumbing, manufacturing, any type of really hands-on cleaning with a bunch of different tools, work, food handling, anything where you're handling a bunch of different things. I think these would be perfect for. Very soft and smooth, very soft and smooth. Tasks that require a high degree of dexterity. So tasks that require a high degree of dexterity, these are really good for. As I said, they're very lightweight, they're flexible, and they're ideal for tasks that require precision and control. You know, some of the medical gloves might be kind of slippery when you're dealing with the tools. These ones really have that good grip. Along with the Biogel sensor gloves, I think those surgery gloves have good grips throughout the hand, but these ones in particular have them on the fingers. So they're really good at maintaining grip in a lot of like wet situations. So like if it rained, or you know, you have to do like outside work, these are pretty good. But I really like them. They're really, really cool. And they're super flexible, super durable. So you can't really see the grip, but you can feel them ever so slightly. And they also, you know, if you're like handling meat or food a lot, these really, you know, protect the fingertips, get that better grip on things. And I am actually going to do a cleaning video soon wearing these, just to test out how much better they are. in terms of handling cleaning supplies and wet surfaces and all that kind of stuff. They offer a lot of good protection and a strong grip. So when I'm outside cleaning off or scraping ice off of my car, the first thing that gets frostbite is my fingertips, and these really will prevent that. Very demanding environment. These are probably the gloves for you. Handling like really like meticulous, like tiny tools, and you don't want to wear big like work thick gloves, these would probably be a really good choice. Of course, you know, even with like washing the dishes, your rubber gloves are gonna get nasty after a while. They're gonna contain and hold on and grow a bunch of bacteria. But with this, you get 100 pairs of the gloves. So you can just, you know, throw these in the trash after a use, put on another pair, and they're very good for cleaning, I've read. So, and I am going to test that out in one of the videos. But sew a lot, or do, you know, arts and crafts, or any task that requires extreme focus and, you know, precision and hand-eye movements and a lot of use of your fingers, these would be great. These would be awesome for that. Even for writing, if you do a lot of handwriting or whatever, these can prevent, you know, those marks on your hands. Just, there's a lot of things, and you got to be creative and think, you know, a lot of things that you could use these for. And if you're prone to eczema, if you or your child, you know, is prone to digging at their skin, these could be good. Or if you just have like sensitive skin on your hands, you know, there's so many different things you can use. If you're cutting something with scissors for a long time, tons of things you can use them for. And I'm gonna test out and see, I'm gonna take these two off, how well they work for second use. Because if you're not doing a lot of and they feel fine. My hands feel great afterwards. They're a little red, but not too bad. They do tend to trap they do tend to get kind of not very dry after a use. Granted, I did double these up for a while, but I would definitely say these are a one-time use. But they're very good when they're being used. So if you get calluses on your hands easily, whatever, you know, those are great. I think the next part of this video should really be me testing them out while cleaning. So I am going to get into that. Okay guys, so I am going to do voiceover for this part of the video. Right now I'm just putting a fresh new pair of the Microflex Diamond Grip gloves on. The Diamond Grip gloves. They're very, very stretchy, very durable. I was being very rough with them. Putting them on, most of the gloves would have broke. These did not. And now we are getting to the dishes. My kitchen was a huge mess, so I thought this is the perfect opportunity to test these gloves out. So I went ahead and recorded all the mundane handling of the dishes and the tools and the cleaning, just so you can see how these gloves work. putting them in the sink. And then the dishes, I don't know if I'm going to wash. I'm just rinsing it and setting them to the side for now. I'm going to go ahead and clean the water. And these gloves did not get all foggy and drenched. They stayed very firm and dried very quickly. I was able to use this one all the way through. I'm going to fill up the sink water with soap. Go ahead and give these dishes a good soak and a good scrub. I hope you all enjoyed the water out. I'm not sure where I went. I made Rice Krispie treats the other day, and they were so good, but now I'm lost the rest of my. And those gloves did super well getting the tough, dried Rice Krispies off the bowl. I'm gonna move you guys closer. Just gently scrub each bowl. I'll rinse them later. But I loved scrubbing with these gloves. They did not get drenched, as I said before, and they are very, you don't even notice that you have anything on, whereas like fish gloves, you know that they're there. These gloves were perfect. No water seeped into the gloves at all. My hands were completely dry afterward. And this video is not sponsored, by the way. I just genuinely think you guys like to see this type of stuff. This is just very realistic cleaning for you. And all the trash from around the counters. I'm not sure where I went. second now. Sometimes I don't catch these gaps while I'm editing. There I am. Back to scrubbing. That's another reason why you can never have enough medical gloves, because, you know, your house always needs cleaned. So it might motivate you to clean your house more that you have a nice big selection of gloves to use. Make the job a little bit less nasty. But this is a very realistic and slow-paced cleaning video, as a lot of you were requesting. So I made sure to slow it down for you all. I think I'm getting the last of the dishes out of the sink. Oh, there, I'm wiping off the stove. And I made the Rice Krispies, finding extra trash around. And I'm just wiping that onto the floor. I am going to sweep in a second here. But as you can see, these gloves work so well to brush on dry surfaces, and they dried so quickly. There's always that one stubborn stain that doesn't come off. Slowly wiping it down. Okay, here I am. And I wanted to show me sweeping the floor because I wanted to show you how, you know, gripping the broom for a bit of time works with these gloves, since it's all about the grip. And they did pretty well. I did not feel the broom handle at all. so it made sweeping a bit more pleasant, as much as it can be. I believe I went to get the dustpan. I also need to mop. My floor is really bad, but that won't be in today's video. I can do a separate video for that if you'd like to see it. Because a lot of the spots on my floor are stubborn. And back to the sink. These gloves did really well going from wet to dry to wet to dry. And you know how when you take your dish gloves off, you always feel like a relief, like it feels so nice to take them off. Well, these gloves, I didn't feel that way because it didn't even feel like anything was on there. I'm just getting some of this sink stains off, rinsing it all out. There's that stubborn stain that will come up on the sink. And now I'm just finishing off my cleaning by wiping down some of the dishes. So I hope this video gives you all some cleaning inspiration, maybe some medical drug inspiration, or just some relaxation and entertainment. And then I'm going to, I might be wiping something off out of camera sight. Want to wipe it real good to prevent bacteria. Now I'm going to wipe down around the sink area. I'm not sure what I'm doing right now. Am I waiting for the water to drain? I think that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm waiting for the I think eventually I give up and just turn on the disposal. but see, the gloves are holding up really well.